Ali ma'am, hope you're ready with your answers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So my first question to you is that what do you think is the direct association between an academic functioning and emotions?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us first understand what are emotions. So basically, emotions are mind and body integrated response to any kind of stimuli or
Mm-hmm.
any kind of situation.
Yeah.
So it is impossible for us to imagine life without emotion. Any kind of emotion you take, like whether it is positive or negative. Um, like simple joy when we go for gaming, or that anger when something is violated, the pleasure when a loved one touch, or that sadness when one loved one dies,
Yeah.
when we are with friends, that fun with friends at night out, or that guilt or shame towards others when our scenes are made public. So all the positive and negative emotions have their impact in our life. Like though if we see that fear is negative, but yes, it help us to overcome with the scary and unknown situation. Yes, that emotion gives us our experience some flavor, or that life to the experiences. So I feel that in academics also, if you see, there are many functions like self-efficacy, our academic interest, then how much efforts are we going to put for a particular subject, or uh, overall any overall achievement in the particular subject or in academic, it directly, yes, correlates with the emotions.
Okay. So because we were talking about the negative emotions like fear and all, so my second question is related to that. So I just wanted to understand, like, how do you define negative emotions and their impact on one's general life or one's performance?
Yes, yes. So yes, these negative emotions are very controversial.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, 2 3 points when it comes to parents and students. So basically nowadays we see that students are spending their waking time at school for for long hours, and the way they feel at school, that affects their academic performance, and of course in their overall health, well-being, and their personality. um, Now boredom is the very simple term for us. We, each and every person at certain point of time, we feel boredom. But due to this long school hours, students become feel that drain out, or that boredom, and gradually it converts into sadness, and then fear, and then stress. So then school becomes more taxing. So it is like generally when we are also bored, we don't feel like listen to anything which is
Yeah. Right.
not
Mhm.
interested. We
Yeah.
don't show any kind of interest in the things around us. So of course this hinder their curiosity to learn something new,
Yeah.
and which is really very associated with their deeper and more enduring learning. So of course, as a parent, I feel it is our responsibility to encourage them to be more enthusiastic, like we can play lots of indoor outdoor games with them.
Mhm.
We can have conversation with them related to their hobbies, or related to their interests. So basically avoid talking about only home assignments, or only about tutorials and school. let them, keep them entertained with your, any kind of things which, make interest them and help them to perform better. Although, negative emotions are, as I said, it is very controversial. So yeah, it also promote some kind of success, like many times, disappointment or failures. We have many example, like if you take, Johnny Lever or Steve Jobs or Shah Rukh Khan, their schooling time was not that positive or great, but yes, still they have their successful lives. So yes, these kind of failures and disappointments also motivates them to try harder, and they try to lift them joyful environment in the future. But at the same time, I feel that if there is prolonged anxiety and anger towards children, that yes, that affect their learning efficacy, that also affect their memory processing. So yeah, so as it is showing insecurity and anger will not going to help them. So as a parent, what we can do, we have to understand child's pace, child's interest. We have to accept them as the way they are, and we have to give them that much time and liberty to perform better and encourage them.
Okay, so as you were talking about that anxiety and anger takes a turn, and we should accept them. So my next question is related to positive emotions. So how do you think that positive emotions are related to a child's development? What is the role of positive emotions in a child's development?
See, positive emotions decreases the stress hormone and
Okay, yeah,
increase our feel good chemical in our brain. So,
nice. That's a nice answer. Yeah, everyone
of
will
course,
start thinking positive then. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So it is going to help everyone, including students. So yes,
Okay.
yeah, students feel more confident because this help them to feel physically and emotionally very safe. It give them that feeling of trust, and student build their bond with people around them. In academics, it also enhance and encourage their exploratory. So they try to explore. They also show creativity. They improve their critical thinking. Then they try to integrate lots of different type diverse material. Then they also broaden their potential, and they try different problem solving skills. So yes, it affects in all the areas, if you see.
Okay. So my next question is a bit lengthier, and I just want to know your views about it. So, like it's said that in theoretical concept, conceptualization, discrete emotions, they are seen as outcomes of a global pursuit, whereas the temperament, the mood swings, the moods or the general effect, they're seen as antecedents of global adoption. So, what do you want to say about it, and how far do you agree with this?
Okay, so I think it needs depth research.
Yeah.
To say something about it. Uh, but yeah, I feel whether one will pursue the goal or they will adopt the goal, it
Mhm.
doesn't only depends on emotion, because there are many other factors
Yeah.
which affect a lot. There are like personality, personal experience, then
Mm.
there will be environmental factor, financial factor. So
Mm.
I feel we can't say only emotions will affect whether they will pursue or they will adopt a goal.
Okay, so because we're talking of goals now, so you feel that like do emotions they act as mediators between goals and achievements?
Yeah. So goal is something what you desire, and
Yeah.
achievement is something that getting what you desire. So
Hmm.
in the process, I think there are so many cognitive processes are involved, like motivation to learn, then learning strategies, then regulation of learning. So all these things requires some kind of motivation, and of course emotions are going to help them to prepare to achieve their goals. So basically I feel that pleasant emotions do have positive impact on their achievement, and whereas unpleasant emotions like boredom, anxiety and all, uh, yeah, they elaborate their processing of information and all. So yeah, so it is going to affect, yes.
Okay, so because we're talking of goals, so goals are related to, you know, being successful or, you know, reaching to a place and creating success in life. So, what is the role of mental toughness in creating and predicting success?
Okay. um Mental strength is, I feel, the key to success. It is very critical key to success. Personally I feel without that, I think so nobody can experience the success. Many time in our life also we feel very exhausting, like it that goal gets very difficult, and success seems to be very impossible. We lose hopes, and we feel like now bas ho gaya, now I want to quit. So but that time, that blend of that passion and persistence, that keep us going and moving towards our success or our goal. So yes, so mental toughness is really very important. So as a parent, let us
Mm.
discuss few points where how we can support our children to gain this mental strength. So many times we know whether kids verbalize or not, they many times says that I'm not that smart enough, or I don't have that much experience. Or sometimes they say that, oh, I tried that before, but it did not go well. So all these statements shows that they are quite they have these kind of belief there, which is going to be self-limiting. So I think at this point of time, as a parent, what we can do that uh, we explain them that nobody is born smart. So it is
Mm.
you know uh, if you will try with trial and error, with all kind of experiment only, you will be more confident and you will be smart. So let us try again. This is how you
Yeah.
can support your children to gain that mental strength. Then one more thing which I feel that which pass on from parents or from teachers to the kids, that is feeling of or thinking of in extremes. Either you are very good, or you are
Yeah.
totally awful. Either you are perfect or you are failure. So these kind of extreme thinking, I think it limits their going towards that goals. So instead what we can do, we can ask such kind of questions where they will try to explore more about their strength and weaknesses, like okay, what do you think, what went very good, or what do you think where we can improve for next time. Or
Yeah.
maybe if the kid is really very not good with dance, but we want to encourage them, so we will try to ask him, okay, do you think that we will try on rhythm from next time, so you will be more confident. So this will help them to understand their strength and weaknesses, so they will be more there will be more strength for or confident for next time. Then one more thing which is really very important is there should be some group who all are encouraging, or who all are guiding, because we all know that successful people, whoever is around us, there were time that people were offering support and mentorship and all. So if you want to develop that unmatched mental toughness, then I feel going alone will not work it out. So you should have kids should have those kind of groups where they can ask for help, whether that can be relatives or teachers or friends, anything. And last but not the least, is you have to be really very patient about the process, as a parent also, and if you are a kid also. So mental toughness, I think it is simply ability to stick to something when it is going to be tough. So people with a high level of mental toughness can push beyond these obstacles, and they can forge their path towards the success.
Okay. So now I move towards the last question, because I think we have got a clarity mostly on everything. So my last question to you is like, what role do you think like a student's academic emotions play in self-regulated learning and achievement?
Okay. So self-regulated learning happens at 3 levels.
Yeah.
First is forethought, where they do all kind of goal setting, they do strategic planning,
Yeah.
they set some self motivational belief.
Mhm.
Then second part is performance, where they try to look at self control, whatever time, whether I have given for family, for screen time, for play time, for self study time, whether am I giving or not. So that self control, self monitoring. And third, which is really very important, but generally don't give that much importance, so which is self reflection. So how much importance we give to forethought, that same importance should be given it to self reflection, because generally I have seen that whenever children come in 9th and 10th standard for goal setting or time management, or for you know um, I want to pursue this profession, so I want to score this many percentage, so they come for these kind of goal setting, and so they have very fancy chart about this is what I follow. But when it comes to self reflection, there is nothing. So this self regulated learning doesn't last for long. So I feel at self reflection you should do that self evaluation, and you should see whether self satisfaction is there or not, and what is very went well, what didn't go well. So all these things are really very important. And at all level, if you see whether it is goal setting, forethought level, whether it is performance level, or self reflection level, at all the level, if you see, students are going to experience rich diversity of emotions, and which plays a really very vital role. So as a parent, I think so what we can do at every level, we can motivate them, challenge them, and support them for their goals.
Okay, so I'll ask one more question, and this would be the last. So, can you share some tips so that the students can build strong emotions? Some tips where they can, they know to build strong emotions for students. I'm talking.
Huh.
Yeah.
Strong emotions. Okay, so basically, so at home maybe parents can be positive, at school maybe teachers can be positive, but when you go out, people are going to be a mixture of all kind of emotions, and we can't really be only positive, and students are going to face all kind of negative emotions in their life. So how you can
Alisha,
from
wash it.
beginning we can teach them how to deal with emotions. So when children are very small, from that time only we should that categorization, again I am going to the that extremity and all, that categorization, oh this is good people, these are very bad people, if somebody is giving you, that is good people, if somebody is not giving, that is bad people, or good manner or bad manner. So we should not go into that. Instead we should it gives us happiness, we should teach them that way. Okay, if you do this it will give you happiness, if you do this it will give you self satisfaction. If you teach them these kind of emotions from the beginning, and as a student also, if you learn, if you see the scenario around you and you try to find it out, okay, I felt like that way, the other person felt like that way, so that means something, this conversation went well or this conversation went wrong. That will help them to grow this emotional quotient, and which will help them throughout their life.
Okay, so I mean, this is an amazing answer, and all the answers were amazing. And I hope that we all have got a clear idea on the emotions, and the topic is clear. Ma'am, do you want to add something more? I mean, any of
No,
the
so yeah, so just like that if anywhere you are stuck, so there are people around who will help you, like there are experts also who will help you. So if as a parent or as a child, kid or student, if you are stuck somewhere, so don't just push yourself. Instead you go
Yeah.
and ask for help from the expert, that they will help you out and they will sort it out your problem for sure.
Okay, so we'll conclude it, and thank you so much for being here today with us, and thank you for being a part of Potpourri Candidas, and it was really amazing to have you. And I thank all the guests who have joined us, and all the comments and suggestions are always welcome here. And thank you for being a part, everyone who's there. Thank you, Nirali ma'am, once again. It was
Thank you.
really
Thank you,
amazing
Sita.
and
Thank you,
to have you
Stiti.
here. Yeah, and thank you to everybody, and just have a great Sunday, whatever is left. And thanks for being a part of this. It was great being talking to you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank
Take
you so
care.
much.
Yeah,
Take
sure.
care. Bye.
Bye.